Hi, this is Runa, and you're listening to the Changemakers podcast, where we share tips, insight, tools, and stories from other changemakers designed to motivate you to become the change you want to see in your world. Make sure you join our Changemakers community at runamagnus.com/podcast. And now, this is your time to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hey, it's Runa here with another solo episode around how do you build your personal brand. And a few things that I am assuming here, so please take that into consideration when you start to listen to this podcast. I'm assuming you want to be happy. I am assuming you want to be able to stand out from the crowd with confidence, with clarity, feeling good about yourself. And I am assuming you want to live a life that is fulfilled, that is exciting, that is accepting. You feel you're safe, you're free to be who you are, you're loved for who you are, you are being understood. And there's absolutely nothing missing. Okay, these are my assumptions, just to be clear. So, your personal brand and standing out, becoming better, bolder, even brighter as who you are, is linked to your happiness. It's linked to that happiness zone that makes you want to smile without even sometimes no reason at all. It's that happiness zone that is just so fulfilling when you get to be in that zone. And I've been wondering, in the days that we're living in the days where so many of us are feeling maybe a little bit unsure about where they're heading and what's up. They might have lost their job, or their loved one has lost their job. They're maybe worried about their health as COVID-19 is bursting in. It is easier said than done to just be happy. Just turn your mindset around and stop worrying and stop all these things that you're told not to do because it's not good for you. Well, as much as I agree with all of that, it's fabulous to be able to stop all of these thoughts and all of these worries that you might be just facing at the moment. There are ways that I believe, and I've seen it's been helping me out, and it's been helping my clients out when they feel lost a little bit and out of their flow in life. And it has to do with building your personal brand. It is around that. It is around you having that awareness and for you to be in your best flow so that you can serve as many people as you can, as you desire. So I have a question that I would love to ask you as I'm pondering on this myself. The question, if you could choose your personal brand, if you could choose exactly who you would like to be, what would then really make you happy? Very powerful question, isn't it? If you could choose your personal brand, then what would make you happy as that brand? So it's interesting with these questions, just like any questions that we ask ourselves, they can shift everything in our head. They can make our head go into new ideas. They even can expand us so that this feeling of being trapped and being constrained just disappears. And there's another feeling that pops up in your heart, when you start to say, I can create that. I can choose to be whoever I want to be. Can I? Am I not just this? And Runa, haven't you just said all the time that there is an X factor? And I should just follow that. I just should be that X factor. And hey, in my case, my X factor is nothing to do with happiness. My X factor is being serious. That's my X factor. Well, it could be. It could just be exactly that. So, what would make you happy? How is it making you happy being the serious one? If that's your personal brand, how is that making you happy? You could be saying, well, I want to be serious. That's what I do. That's my profession. My profession isn't anything about happiness. My profession can't be that. It's about serious stuff. Well, okay. It's about serious stuff. So what would make you happy if your brand is serious? Could that be that what makes you happy is to be able to help people on very complicated things? Could that be that what makes you happy is to see things resolving some problems? Could that be what makes you happy? You see, what I'm trying to say is, I sometimes get a question of, Runa, do you just want everyone to be happy? You just want everyone to be happy and you just want people to be in that flow. What the fuck do you mean by being in the flow? Excuse the language. Yes. I'm going to answer yes. I truly, truly want to see people being able to be happy in their flow as they are. And here's the thing, we are so many of us are conditioned to think that if you're happy, you are somehow just the goofy one. Or you're just the clown in the group. Or you perceive that happiness has nothing to do with your profession. Or happiness is, you can't be happy all the time. That's another phrase that I sometimes hear people say. And I thought, well, what if you could? What if you could be happy all the time? What if you had the ability to stop yourself when that unwanted thoughts pop up in your head that for some reason are not fulfilling, that they're not giving you the zone that you want to be in? Well, what if you could? Regardless of what is your X factor, what is your passion, what is your purpose on this planet, regardless of that, I think being happy as who you are and feeling that you are loved for who you are, regardless of who you are, is the really one of the things that all of us do need to and should just be aware of, that we can create. Can we create that happiness that we feel deep down in our heart, that we are loved as we are? Serious or not? Are we really that conditioned to think that happiness is just in one shape or form? Because I think that is probably one of the biggest trap we can fall into, is to think that it comes in one shape and form, that we have to be jumping up and down, that we see the stereotype of happy people and we think, this is what I have to do to be happy. But we're not. You might not be giving yourself space to just dwell into what makes you happy. I had a really interesting conversation the other day with a beautiful woman who is absolutely wow. She's just, her talent box is so big, and she has so many beautiful talents, like actually so many of us do, if not all of us. Anyway, that's a sidetrack. But here we were talking about happiness, being an introvert or extrovert. And she said, so many people think that I am an extrovert, but actually I'm not. I see now, as I'm growing and I'm growing my brand, is that the bit that people see as being my extrovert is the bits where it's my old condition. It's just what I think that I have to do to be noticed. Actually, she said, I am so in my happiness bliss when I get to be alone at home with music playing and I'm humming or singing or baking or painting or writing my journal. Total bliss. I'm such an introvert at heart, but people tend to think that I'm an extrovert, and I see that sometimes I fall into the trap thinking, I have to constantly be that extrovert, and this conversation really made me think about going into every single moment knowing it's just a new moment and choosing, well, who do I want to be in that moment and what makes me happy in that moment. If we could do that, more of that and less of, I'm supposed to be something, or I need to do stuff to be accepted, to be valued. Well, how are you valuing yourself? How are you accepting yourself? Big questions, and probably something that is just good to revisit on a regular basis, because you're moving on, your brand is moving on, and it is about feeling fulfilled and feeling you have something really valuable to contribute to in this world. And it's up to you to choose your personal brand and who you want to be in each and every moment. Yeah, these are my thoughts today in the Changemakers podcast. I would love to get your comments. I would love to hear where you're at. And Jack as well on my next Out of the Box 5-day challenge. All online. If you go to runamagnus.com/challenge, you can see all about the next challenge and even sign up go to the waiting list, as I do keep this open on a very short limited time, and then I close the challenge or the possibility to sign up for the challenge. So be that, be square. Remember, this is your life. You can choose your personal brand. Choose and choose happiness as happiness comes your way. That's it for me today. Bye. Was this podcast of value for you? I sure hope so. If so, feel free to share the love and give us your generous review on iTunes or Stitcher. And remember that you can always go to runamagnus.com to find out more about the Changemakers and how we can help you drive the change you want to see in your world.